All right. So first, Bodyweight Muscle podcast, and as you can see on the screen right now, there's a another person right here. John, if you're not familiar with him, probably most of you are not on YouTube, but he's the guy that is writing all the newsletters lately. Uh, he's the guy that is a little bit more aggressive. So we,
That's what
we're
my girlfriend says.
we're a little bit different personalities, but I think we fill in each other's holes pretty good, right? That's why we do such a
Yeah,
great team.
yeah, that was a great phrase right there. Filling each other's holes. Sorry, guys, it's not a politically correct podcast. Um, so welcome. Nice to meet you. And I'll be the head of written content from now on. So if you see weird things on the email list and on any other written content, just make sure that you sue the right person. It's me, not Anthony.
Yeah. So if you read like bad jokes and impolitically correct comments and stuff like that, that's usually John. So yeah, there you go.
Yep. If you like those, then you're my people. So keep reading the written content and keep ignoring Anthony's videos. They're not as funny, not as funny as my column, my written column that I'll be having from now on. So please pick your poison. Anthony's blissfully white. As you can see, he's wearing like
I'm
totally.
using like the warmest filters with my little like green lights here. Like imagine if I didn't use the warmest filters.
The audience here, people that are watching this right now, can attest that this is not a warm filter.
I would
This
probably
this
blend
is a warm
into the
filter,
wall.
right?
Mm. Like it doesn't go any warmer. Like those are the
Anthony is
highest
so pale
settings.
white that even his light and even the sun around him that's beaming on him is completely white, and he thinks it's warm, right? Yeah. So what's today's theme? I'll let you pick one
Okay,
from
so
our list.
yeah, today's topic, I would say biggest mistakes men make when getting to sh in shape, especially after a long time of not having done something. So maybe you haven't trained since college, or maybe it's been like a few years. Maybe you stopped during COVID because I don't know, you just got tired of that situation. But yeah, what happens with guys usually after 30, 40, which is what the age most people are watching this YouTube channel and this podcast. What are the biggest mistakes when they're getting back into trying to get strong and lean again?
All right. So I'll pass you the ball for mistake number one. So what do you
Mhm.
feel the biggest mistake is? Because I feel there are many mistakes that they're doing, but what do you feel is the most important mistake that they're doing? We don't have the whole day, so let's find the most important ones and
Mm.
let's go from there.
So it depends on the personality. I would say with like A-type personality people, like people that are probably, do everything in extremes, that would probably
Overachievers.
be, yeah, that would probably be doing a lot of cardio and strength training at the same time, which is basically like putting your one foot on the gas pedal and the other one on the brake, right? It doesn't work if you're like, especially if you're like a busy dad, if your sleep is not always the best, if your stress is high, a lot of times, a lot of days of the week. Like once you have all those parameters, right, it doesn't work. Like I mean, if you're sleeping like a baby and you don't have stress in your life and
So
you're
if
you're
practically you're not a
probably an
dad after
alien.
all.
Yeah, if you're not human, and you're over 40, then yeah,
So if,
you can.
if you're practically, if you're doing nothing, you're not a dad, if you're not someone who's working a lot at on their craft or at their job or whatever, then you shouldn't be on that podcast anyway. So that's not for you, I guess. If everything is perfect, it
Yeah.
means that you're not a dad or anything. I think, like Anthony is saying, that the biggest mistake is burning yourself to the ground and
Mm.
hitting like a point that you crash and burn. That's what most people do because they are looking only one part of the equation, which is doing things and hustling and grinding, which is what the whole culture right now promotes, and it's been promoting for a long while, doing more and more and more stuff. But they aren't looking at the other side of the equations, which is recovery.
Yeah.
And usually, as a busy person, as a busy dad, as a busy man, whatever you are, less is usually more. Less things done better
Yeah.
equal results, and they equal results without all the added and unnecessary stress that you get from trying to do everything at once, like trying to balance all the balls at the same time,
Yeah. Yeah.
no matter
If
how many balls you have. That's
So yeah, it's like that hustler mentality, that those YouTube videos where people tell you like, sleep, you don't need any sleep, like just get it done. Like, yeah, that works for a day or two, but then you crush and burn. You end up probably depressed as well. So yeah, not good for you. Uh, what do you
it's
think
good.
is the biggest mistake, John?
No, I feel that this is one of the biggest mistakes, people trying to do too much too soon and not trusting the process, not taking it slow.
Hmm.
That's why consistency usually suffers. Like, of course, besides the whole busy schedule thing, having to do too many things as an adult in their 40s or even in their 30s, if you have kids, you have too many things that you have to do and you have to take care of. Um, this doesn't work, right? Like, it doesn't, like, trying to spin all those plates at once and trying to perfectly spin them, usually it's your demise. Like, you are not going to be good at everything. Like, I don't remember where I read it. It's a phrase that I really like. You can't ride two horses with one butt, let alone trying to ride 17 horses with one butt. I don't know what kind of butt that is, but it doesn't work. So the way we program for people, the way we try to get them into training when they first enter our program, and the way we advise on that channel is to start with the simple things. That is, three training sessions of 30 to 40 minutes every week. Um, we usually do it in a very simple way. So we usually program like four upper body exercises to lower body, and that's done. And then getting your steps in. Like, we don't put people straight into way too many things. We drip feed things so that people can get accustomed to it, see what results they get or don't get, and then improve from there. Trying to do everything at once, it doesn't work. Again, like, we will keep repeating ourselves, but that's true.
Yeah, just focus on getting stronger in the beginning. Make sure you're tracking your workouts, because if you're not tracking your workouts, your reps and all of that, it's kind of pointless. And yeah, just be consistent. Um, Other typical mistakes, I would say, like the all or nothing mindset when it comes to both training, but especially nutrition, right? So either you're eating like 110% clean, or it's not even worth it to start, improving your nutrition.
Yeah, that's a big one because mostly it's again, I think it all starts from the ground up. So because the whole society thing, the whole culture thing is about perfection and chasing perfection, hustling and grinding, we're always looking to attain perfection, and that usually backfires because um, you're never going to be perfect. You're a human being, right? Things are going to happen in your life. Things aren't always like at the same difficulty. Like, your life isn't always playing at the same difficulty. There are periods where things are easier. There are periods that things are harder. And what Anton is saying is that the all or nothing mindset, if you are doing this, and I can assure you, like 90% of you that you're listening to this podcast right now, are doing it because most of our clients, most of our trainees do it, and they do it in such a big extent that it derails their progress all the time. So the way we face that and with the way we try to make amends for that is we have one rule. It's called the never miss twice rule, right? Which means that if you drop off the horse and if you miss one meal, one workout, one walking session, one whatever it is, one good night's sleep, whatever that is, even if that's 1 week, then like, make sure that you never miss twice, that you jump back on the horse and you keep riding, because one time is a mistake, two times is a choice, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like people who are fit, who are successful, who are consistent with anything, it's not like they never mess up once. It's not like they are, they're gods amongst men. They just get back on the horse as fast as possible the moment they fall off it, right? So you miss one workout, as John said, like
And if you
two.
don't like horses, you can jump back on whatever you like, but the concept is equally the same.
Yeah, yeah, just do whatever you can to get that next workout in, that next meal in, that next good meal in, right? And just forget about the mistake. What happened happened. That's in the past. I think once that's probably one of the biggest wins we have as coaches with our trainees. Like that's when things start to really pivot, when people are okay with one mess up, when they can get into that healthier mindset. Okay, I can course correct right now. I'm not gonna get into that all or nothing mindset. One workout, one missed workout is not gonna turn into one, missed week. And instead, even if they don't feel like it, they get their next workout in. They make sure that they make that next meal really good, high
Yeah,
quality.
yeah. It's like that old meal isn't going uh to make you like fat.
Yeah.
Did you like you froze right there? Did you listen to what I say?
Yeah, we did miss like 3 or 4 seconds, but I think what you were saying was that, one meal is not going to make you fat. Like, even if there's a big
I said it's
difference,
from the Bible.
oh, it's from the Bible.
I think it's a quote from the Bible. Yeah, people are going to lynch me for that. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding, people. Don't get all roused up.
maybe that was a
No,
godly
but
intervention
like it's yeah, it's
for you
like
being disrespectful.
maybe it was, but yeah, yeah, maybe I'll have to be a bit more religious after all.
Be careful.
So what I was saying though, it used to take it as if it was from the Bible. If you're a religious person, of course, like one good anything isn't going to make you successful, and one bad anything isn't going to make you unsuccessful.
Yeah,
It's the entire picture that matters, right? Like even if I say one or two or 17 bad jokes, but I say 100 others that are good, and that's good enough. Because Anthony has been thinking about my jokes all the time.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but pretty much. Um, this is one of the biggest, like the all or nothing mindset is one of the biggest. It's not exactly a mistake, it's a mindset. So I'm not going to
yeah,
say it's a mistake because it's an ingrained mindset and it goes, it's the way our brain thinks. It's like it's a brain that is designed to survive, and survival supposedly needs perfection because danger is a risk to our survival. I don't know if it makes sense.
yeah. Your mind is basically wired in a way to blow up the negative things. Like that's the negativity bias we all have.
Exactly, it's a negativity bias. So your brain is always going to look at the negative stuff and say, you know what, you did this, and this, and you can hear it in your voice. So if you miss a meal right now, today, tomorrow, whatever, pay attention to what your brain says. Probably it says like, oh, you messed up again. But if you point out all the good stuff you're doing, all the progress that you're having, even if it's very minute and it's not as good as you want to, I can assure you that you're going to start having more good days because now you accept the mistake and you become curious about it instead of judging yourself. You become curious and you say, all right, so the next time, what can I do better to improve the situation? So if you find yourself, let's say, at a buffet and or you go out with your friends and you overeat and binge and drink a lot, and you didn't want that to happen, because if you wanted it, okay, it's a conscious choice. Like I'm not going to touch on that aspect. But if you don't want it to happen and it does happen, then there is a trigger that makes it happen. So the next time you can say, all right, that happened, that's okay. I'm going to jump bank on the horse, who never miss twice, the never miss twice rule. And then what can I do next time to improve it? And that's how coaching works pretty much as well, right? So we try to figure out the patterns, find a way to break the patterns, no matter how deeply etched. We do our best. It's not always easy, of course. It takes a lot of effort for some people. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't. because that sells. But it's hard, but it's worth all the effort in the world if you do it and if you achieve it and if you start to feel amazing in your skin.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need to get comfortable with failing once, maybe failing even twice, getting it like 20% better the next time, 30%, 50%. And for some people, it goes faster. It depends also on what you're struggling with. Some people struggle more with training consistency, other people struggle more with the nutrition side. But a lot of things, like especially the things that are probably holding you back the most, will take a lot of work and discomfort to fix and improve. But that's how you change. If you don't step out of your comfort zone, like there's no change. So yeah, our job is to help you move through that sticky transitional phase where things kind of suck, but you are getting better slower and slower. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest struggles guy have. It tends to be with nutrition usually, although it depends with the person. But yeah,
Yep.
usually it takes a lot of work and it goes slow.
Yep. And a last one, and like we can finish the podcast after that, but this is a very important one that just came to mind because we're doing this off the cuff, guys. Like we haven't planned anything. We just get on the camera. Like we were on a call with our clients just before this call, and Anthony, without any warning, he just
Yep.
popped the recording and said, "Okay, let's start," and he started going. So another thing that came to my mind, which is huge, and it's also an aspect that I used to work a lot on is the nice guy syndrome. So many people, they don't want to say no to other people. Like
Hmm.
they can't set boundaries. Like most people that I know can't set boundaries. And most people that we've worked with, they can't say no to their spouses, to their kids, they can't say no to their parents, to their colleagues, to their bosses. And that destroys their whole lives because now they're trying to fit in by doing what others want them to do. So they overeat, so they binge, they go out and drink, they skip workouts, all because they don't want to set. They're afraid to set boundaries. They're afraid is a better word. Um, and if they did it, they would feel so much better in their skin because now they would show themselves that they matter and that they put themselves first. That they not only they would feel better, but they would be much better dads, much better husbands, much better at their work, much better with their friends as well,
Yep.
because they wouldn't be grumpy, like you wouldn't be sad, stressed all the time. And all these things are of immense um what's the word that I'm looking at? Of immense importance,
Yeah.
right? The way you feel is the way you act, and the way you act gives you results in your life, and the results in your life, you take the results in your life and you think about those results, and these dictate what you do next. So if you do better at the start of this whole thing, then you are going to have a much better life on the other end.
Yeah. So being a recovering nice guy myself, I would say that first of all, people will respect you so much more. Like you think that people will be annoyed by you, right? But the opposite thing happens. Plus, you usually make it a lot bigger deal than it is in your head. Like, whereas if you just communicate what you want in a way that is, polite, respectful, you don't have to be crazy about it. But if you just honestly communicate what you're feeling, um, people are like more than understanding. Like they don't even, get annoyed with you or whatever you might think will happen. So in your head, it's like this huge thing, but like once you're just communicating it in a nice way, 99% of people understand. And the people who don't understand, you don't want in your life anyway. So, screw those.
Yeah, it's like your brain makes it way bigger than it really is because again, it's trying to um, keep you into the group, right? Into the group of people because your brain wants you to fit in, so you have company, so you never are supposedly caught alone. If you think evolution, how humans, um, like humans survived, it was through groups. If you were
Yeah.
alone, a predator could be like you would be much easier prey, and or another group of people could hunt you down and kill you. But if you were with many people, many strong people, then you wanted to fit in because it was much, much harder to die that way. So your brain, especially if you're a nice guy and if you haven't, when if you haven't gone past that, your brain is always magnifying things so that it keeps you small, without a
Yeah.
voice, so that
Yeah.
people won't notice you exactly and they won't throw you off the group if you have differing opinions. But we're living right now in is it the 20th century? Yeah, it is. I'm not good with those things. And things aren't exactly this way anymore. So it's completely understandable and it's not easy to break as a pattern. But the moment you do, you will be set free in all kinds of things like nutrition, like training, because now you will be able to be a bit more consistent and not be swayed left and right by what your family, what your friends, what like the surrounding environment wants from you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything that they want because that's again not a good way to live your life and you will soon be alone, but you have to balance things a bit. You have to find avenues where you're happy doing what you want and you keep other people that matter to you, not anyone, very happy as well.
Hmm.
I think that's it. I think
I'm
that's
thinking
it.
so many people will troll you about the 20th century. I think with the 21st, right? Who
Oh
knows?
yeah,
Maybe.
I told you guys I'm not good with those things, right? But yeah, I'd love people to troll me. I'd love to create, this kind of guys. We would love to hear some questions from you so that we can tackle on next podcast. We have, of course, our own theme list from what we've seen. Working so many years in this in the fitness realm, in the fitness space, and with busy men and busy dads as well, which is a bit more intricate. But we would like you to comment down below and tell us, um, like, what would you like to see on this podcast from now on? And I don't know, Anthony, I don't know if Anthony has anything else to say, but make sure that you subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Make sure that you come over to my email list right now. It's
Yep.
dominated by yours truly.
Link in
Um,
the top and comment below.
yeah, yep. It's going to have a lot of dark humor or something says it. Um, and it's going to have a lot more in-depth stuff about nutrition, training, all things mindset, and whatever you need to go, from point A to point B successfully. I'm going to try and do my best, and I'm going to email a lot. So if you jump on this email list, then expect emails because I like to write and I like to help people and I like to form connections with people. So make sure that you also email if you need anything or if you have a question, or if you like an email, make sure you reach out and I will actually reach back to you as soon as possible.
Yep. So first podcast probably was awkward as hell, but we're gonna get better at it.
No, like we tried it one more time before that and it was awkward as hell. I think this one was very, very good.
Let's
Anthony
see.
wore his white shirt, his
My white
white
shirt.
t-shirt. Yeah, I
All
think he
official. I only
he
have black
read the
shirts. I
black
have
one.
like one white shirt or two.
Really? Are you sponsored by that Field Grounds thing? I don't know what it is.
They did send me some shoes, but I never I never talked about them. Like people send me products all the time, but I never promote them because that's not the kind of I don't think myself as a as an influencer, right? I'm just a coach. I just like talking about calisthenics, sharing tips and that. So yeah, no, we don't promote stuff like that here. We just
If any tanning related companies,
that would be a good one for me.
or any
Uh,
representative is watching this podcast, please sponsor Anthony.
like
Please.
imagine I
I
come
can't
in
even look at him when the sun is out. Like he's
imagine I
reflecting.
join our next podcast being like, oh, what's the politically correct word for it?
We are not politically correct though here, right? Are
I'm
we?
gonna say just like sexy black.
No. Like like this is a common joke that I always make on calls. Anthony is so white, it's racist.
I'm almost racist, right?
Yeah, you're so white, you're almost racist. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching us. Like probably will be one person on this
Yeah.
whole podcast.
Thanks for tolerating John's super long rants.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you get. That's what you get.
That's what you get. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But hope you
let us
liked
know
it.
if you
Yeah.
want us to do more of these. Take care. Keep on
Bye
training.
bye.
Ciao.